Hello, hello, hello. I see some people popping up in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Color Radio, Super Goku 190, SG, my friend. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, greetings, friends. Welcome to the live stream. I picked out some puzzles I thought we could solve together. For the chat, please be respectful of other people in the chat. I'll try solving the puzzles on my own, but if you see something, feel free to put answers or hints in the chat. I try to look at it periodically, and I'll do my best to respond to questions in the chat. And I have a note to check it in between puzzles, and I'll read the question out before responding. Okay, so let me put these in the chat there. All right. Okay, not sure why. I can see you guys chatting, but I'm not sure why I'm not able to add my comment to you. Okay. Hopefully I'll go through at some point. Anyway, so first puzzle, we got round 5, puzzle 3 from the 2025 Sudoku Grand Prix. I plan to solve this with no marking to show you some techniques, give you some confidence that you do not need to be afraid of competition puzzles. And they're actually quite fun to solve, doing it with no marks. I'm putting the link for the first puzzle in the chat as soon as I can get it to pop up. And go. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you, David F., Jeffrey Stevens, Jerry. Okay, let me get started here. For some reason, I'm trying to put things in the chat and it's not working, but it's solving time. Okay, I'm going to do this with no marks. So you can look here with the ones. Big thing with marks is just kind of keeping track of things. So like, for example, this one cutting across row 7, you know, one's got to be one of these spots. So that would be a pointing pair. And to go with this one, I can solve this for a 1, but I don't have to mark the ones there. I just know they're going to be there. 2 places for a 1 there, and can't do anything else with the 1s. But if you look further here, is there more we can do? Looks like you just need a 1, 4, and a 7. And because of this 4, 4 can't be there. So 4s are going to be there. It means 4s to be there. Just got to keep and kind of remember that. How about the 2s? Can I see with the 2s here? 2 places for 2 there, and here. And I can't really mark the 2s. But with the 3s, hopefully you see there's a 3 right there in block 2. And then with these 3s and this 3, the 3 there in block 7, 3 in block 8. And then 2 places for a 3 there, 2 there. So we can kind of dry up, look at the 4s. Now I can see with these 4s. You got a 4 right there. 2 spots there, 2 spots there. Kind of a pointing pair of 4s there. Not going to do anything with that. These 5s kind of are screaming at me to solve there in block 3. Someone asked, how'd you know it was a 1? Okay, never mind. You got it. Good. Okay. What else can we do with the 5s? Don't see anything there. How about the 6s? You'll notice the 6 in the column, the 6 in the row. 6s are going to be there. And with this 6, there'd be 2 6s there. So I got to remember that you can't have a 6 in that spot. Okay. But can I do better than that? Well, this 6 and this 6 there. So 6s could be in those spots. And those spots. All right. How about the 7s? One pair of 7s there. 7s are going to be there. Okay. Nothing else I can see with the 7s. How about the 8s? Yep, we got an 8 in block 1. We got 8 in this 8. So kind of a pointing pair of 8. So 8s would go there. And then what else with the 8s? I don't see anything. How about the 9s then? I'm just kind of going through 1 through 9, looking for restrictions. Gotta be a 9 right there because of these 9s. This 9, another pointing pair. So the 9's got to be in one of these two spots to go with this 9. So you can solve for a 9 in block 7, block 3. And now I've kind of gone through the digits 1 through 9. So now I'm going to go back and look for restrictions. I can see there's a lot of restriction here in block 1. All that's remaining is, looks like a 2 and a 5. Remember, that's a 2 and a 5 because then that means that this has to be either 6 or a 7 right there. And so can we do something with that? Not yet. Where else do we have restrictions? Well, we got 2, 5, 7 along row 1. So a naked single, 2, 5 means that's got to be your 7, and the 5 repeats. So there's your 2. There's your 5. There's your 2. Nice. All right, and then with these 2s, impact row column block, you can solve for 2 right there. Looking right here, you can see we got, looks like 1, 6, 8. And so I'm scanning, just the 1 goes right there. So can't make the solve there. We know that's a 6, 7. I'm looking now, heavy houses, like I say. You know, this is 8 digits, a full house, guaranteed solve, that has to be a 2. So look at the heavy houses. That'll usually get you to your next solve because that's where the most restrictions are. I think we got all of the 2s. Yep, we sure did. Now we're looking at, looks like a 5 and a 7 here. And so I'm just going to scan across, no 5 or 7 that we can use to fill those out. And now would be another heavy house. We can stay down here. We got a 5, looks like a 5, 6, and a 7. With the 7 and the 6 there, can't make that solve. But we can use this 7 to create a pointing pair of 7s. Is that interesting? A little bit, because then you see how 7's got to be here, so they can't be there. And this 7 can't be there. So you got like a pointing pair of 7s here. I'll just color it. So that means a 7 can't be in this spot. Well, a 4 can't be there either. So you can actually solve this for a 1. Because of the 1, 4, 7, the 4 and the 7 both look down at that cell. Can't be there. Which will give you then a 4, 7 here, which you can't solve yet, but it'll give you more restriction. Meaning this is going to be 1 or an 8. And I don't have enough information for the 1 or 8. But now we do have a lock triple here in block 6. You get the 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9. You get 3, 6, and 7. 3, 6 here means this has got to be a 7. Nice. So we know that's a 3, 6. And just using mental memory here, just to make this a 1, 4, and an 8. Do we have any information there to help us with that? Not yet. All right. I'm kind of scan across here. Looks like we need a 1, 6, 7, 8. At the 1 and the 6, that's not helpful. So I think I'm just missing probably what's going to be an easier solve here. And I think it's right here, another naked single. Because you got a 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. You get a 4, 5, 6. Here's the 5 and 6. So that's got to be the 4. Okay. And then what that leave? It leaves a 5, 6, 7 here. And I see one of each, 5, 6, and 7. So you can't solve that yet. All right, but it does put more restriction across here. 1, 5, 8. 1 and 8 or excuse me. How about 1, 8, 9? Because there's a 5. 1, 8, 9. 1, 8 right there. That's a 9. And now we can see, what does that do? 2 9s there. 2 9s there. Can't solve that yet. 1, 8 there. Can't solve that yet. All right. So kind of switch to another, I call heavy house here. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7. Scan across. 4 and a 7 means that's a 5, 6. 4, 5, that's a 6, 7. Not enough restriction there. What about here? 1, 6, 7, 8. Nope, not enough restriction there. So what am I missing here for this no mark solve? Where's another house that we can do? That's a 6, 7. Can't solve that. That's a 5, 7. Don't have enough there. Column 7. Where can a 4 go? Okay, thank you. Who put that in there? SG 190. You can place a 4 in column 7. Sure enough, with the 4, yeah, the pointing pair of 4s, this 4 goes right there. Nice job. And then with this 4, pointing pair of 4s there, that's going to be a 4. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Nice. And what else we have with the 4s? Okay. All right. And then let's look here. What was that impact? So you still got a 1, 6, 8 there. You know, the 6s are going to be in one of those spots. 6s are going to be in one of those spots. So, like I said, that's a 3, 6. That's a 1, 8. Can't solve yet. All right. How about with these 4? The 4 added there. This is now a heavy house. 3, 5, 6, 7. Got the 3, 7 looking here. 7 and 7. Yep. Only place for a 7 in row 4 is right there. Go with this 7. That's got to be a 7 right there. Quite helpful. All right. And then 5 and a 6 with this 6. There's your 6. There's your 5. That's got to be your 5. That's going to be your 6. That's going to be your 7. It's going to go a lot quicker now. This has got to be the 7 in column 2. 7, 4 there. Got the 4 there. Full house. This has got to be a 5. That's going to be your 6. Full house in row 9. That's got to be a 9. Okay, 5, 6 here with the 6. Pull it on down. There's 6. There's a 5. Don't see a 5 in block 2. That's got to be the 5 right there. This has got to be 8, 9. Pull the 9 over. So 9, 8 there. Always go to the next block and with the digit you left, because that's the easiest one to find again. Okay, there, that's got to be 8. That's got to be the 8. And that's going to be an 8 right there. You got a 1 and a 6 in the block. There's a 1. There's a 6. I don't see a 1 in column 7, so there's your 1. With this 1, that's a 1 right there. This has got to be your 3. There's your 3, and the last digit is a 6. Okay. So did no mark, kind of handicapped myself there. Thank you so much for the people who made the notes, SG. I see a lot of notes there from you as well. Thank you so much. Okay. So that's the first puzzle. No marks. They're going to get a little bit harder. I do now want to take this time to do some shout outs. Again, this community, I'm trying to grow the internet's best Sudoku community. Is a bold statement, but I think we are getting there. Very excited about the people who support the channel. So this is the shout outs, all the thank yous for coffees, tips, super thanks over the last month of May. This will also be in the newsletter. You'll see your name there. But as I want to thank John Rhodes, Richard Steep, Kenneth May, Michael G. Mitchell, I. Spansky, Scott Bellinger, Jerry W. Christensen, James Buchanan, Jose Casco, Brian Pierce, Michael Larson, Manuel, Steve Compton, Jim Kunkel, George Heidenreich, Steel Guitar Lessons, that was an email name, Joanne Tangadal, Kari Mahana, Kate, Chris Harding, Tad, Raymond Husk, and Gus O'Leary. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. In case you're wondering what I'm using the funds for, I am working on developing a course for Sudoku to help everybody solve it. Also got some other exciting things planned in this future. You're going to see about it in the newsletter. It's actually something I did this week that you'll see. I think you'll be really excited to hear about it as well. I don't want to give that away just yet. But let's move on to puzzle 2. I'll see if there's any other marks. And I just want to say hello. I think I said hello to everybody that I see in the chat. So thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Puzzle number 2 here is from Andrew Stewart's January puzzle pack. So I featured a puzzle from that about a month ago. This is the Andrew Stewart, the guy that made the Sudoku Wiki solver. Andrew Stewart solver has been featured on Cracking the Cryptic. I talked to him. I got connected with him about his solver, about his puzzle packs. And I'll put a link on how you can sign up for those. But he said I could feature some of them. This one is diabolical rated. And Actually, this is tough rated. I did a diabolical last month. And so I don't know what the feature strategy is, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be a little bit more than just the normal 7 Sudoku strategies there. So I would put the puzzle in the chat. It should be in the description. But let's get started here. All right, solving time. Let's see here. We are going to do marks this time. So only one place for a 1 in block 9. With these ones in block 3. Looks like you got a pointing pair of 1s in block 5. Restricts the 1s in block 4. 3 places here. Not going to mark that. Okay, move on to the 2s. 2 places for a 2 in block 4. Got a 2 coming down. And I'm just going to notice this right now. The 2 and the 9 both see these 2 cells. And so with this 9 there, so I can solve the 9 and 2 right away. And then with the 6, you can solve for the 6 and the 5. So if you do see something like that, like sometimes I check for double cell, double candidates, just solve it. I don't have to stick rigidly to just the 2s. 2's there. This 2. No other marks we can do with the 2s. Move on to the 3s. 2 places for a 3 in block 6. 3 places there. And something else you see, maybe you guys noticed this. 1, 3, 4. And why I noticed it is because of that pattern with the 1s. I just noticed the 3s did the same thing. So the 1, 3, and 4, look at these cells. They have to be in these 3 cells here. So this is a nice hidden triple of a 1, 3, 4. And so you can mark that as a hidden triple, and this is going to be a naked pair now of an 8, 9. And so again, this is a common New York Times trick to have 3 and leaving only 3 spots in another block like that. All right. Anything else I can do with the 3s? Nope. Move on to 4s. We got a 4 coming across here and here. You got a pointing pair of 4s. Restricts the 4s here in block 3. Oh, we can do better than that, because you got another pointing pair of 4s right there. Displace that 4, solve this for a 4. All right, looking out. I don't think I can do anything else with the 4s. How about the 5s? 2 5s in block 8. 2 5s in block 3. A lot of restriction in block 3 going on. And in case you're wondering, you just double click on a candidate and it'll pop up where they all are here in SudokuPad. Maybe sometimes I don't explain that in my videos. Trying to help you out there. Cool. Nothing else with the 5s. Go to the 6s. 3 places for 6 in block 6. Not going to mark that. 3 places in block 4. 2 places in block 8. So I'll mark that, but 3 up here. Okay. 7s. 7s right there. Something really, interesting going on here with the 7s, 4, 5s, 1s, 2s. I don't think there's enough for like a naked quad or triple just yet. I'll keep an eye on it. But these 7s and this 7, we're going to get some solves. That 7 displaces the 6 and the 5. And then with this 7, you can solve for a 7 in block 7. Restricts the 7s here in block 4. Nice. Okay, so we kind of look at see if there's other impact there. Can't see just yet. Let's move on to the 8s. But I'm sure there was quite a bit of fruit there from that solve. The thing I noticed about the 8 is it's in a heavy house. So this has got to be a 4 and a 5. So with the 5, solve that for a 5, solve that for a 4. Remove the 4 there. Impact row, column, and block. Pointing pair of 4s. Well, not really a pointing pair because you already have a 4 there. But that helped. But it also, with these 5s now, 5 displaced to 2. And then this 5 and this 5, you'll see 3s and 5s on top of each other. So you have a hidden pair 3, 5. Helpful to find that. And I remember I started on the 7, so I don't have anything else I can mark these now as 7s. And those 7s and these 7s. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the 8s. 2 places for an 8 in block 6. So, I mean, this hidden pair is helping us out. And that's it with the 8s. How about the 9s? We can solve for a 9 and block 2, right? Because of these 9s. And remember, because of that naked pair, well, hidden triple naked pair we found, we can make some solves there. Come on down. I got a full house. Know for certainty. You can solve this now for 2. And it puts 2s right there. Anything else with the 9s that I might have missed? No, we just got 9s here and here. So it kind of went through the digits 1 through 9. Let's see. Oh, I see a lot of comments there by SG. Cool. Just checking to see if you guys seen something I didn't see. All right. So let's look at the heavy houses now and look more for pairs and triples as needed. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 8, 9. Because of that 9 there. I am going to start marking some BVCs. I expect this to be a little bit tougher of a puzzle. That might require that. So 3, 8, 9. Okay. Looks like 2, 3, 8 across here with this 3. That's a 2, 8. So every bi-value cell represents not just a conjugate pair, so either this is a 2 or an 8, but also represents that one-step restriction. I can solve one of the digits. You solve the cell right away for the other. That's 2, 3, 8. And then that would mean that the 4s are here. And then the 3s are here. Okay. So mark 3s there. We'll mark 4s there. I'm getting a little messy with the marking. But I do want to see the impact. 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay. With these 3s and this 3. Okay. Whoops. 3 places for 3 here. What else can we do? Oh, I should probably stick more to heavy houses now. So look at column 6. You got a 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 3, 4, 6, and 8. 6s, see there. 8, sees there. 3's there. That's not much. Row 5's only got 3 missing digits. You just need a 1, 6, and 8 there. So we'll be able to solve this for 6. And then this is going to be 1 or an 8. And that's helpful, right? Because now you got a 1, 8 locked pair because it's in the row and the block, which means this can be, looks like 6, 7, or 9. Well, with that 6, there's your 6, displacing the 9, displacing the 7. That's why we do the marks. Displace that 7, solve that for 7, displace the 8, and you can solve for 9 there, block 6. Displace this 7. Solve for 7 there. Displace the 5. Displace the 1. And you're going to remove a 1 from here. Nice. And then with the 5, you got 3, 5 disambiguate right there. Cool. So we got a 2 and looks like a 3 in column 8. And what would this be? 4 and 8. Well, with the 8, there's your 8, there's your 4. Making a lot of progress. And let's kind of tidy up down here in block 5. I know 1's got to be one of the digits. The other one, it looks like an 8. So 1, 8 there. So of interest, you'll notice the 8s are restricted to columns 4 and 5 in blocks 5 and 8. So I know an 8's got to be here, right? Other way you could look at the 8 being right there. Well, since you got these 2 8s, you know you can solve that for an 8. It's the only place it goes in column 6. And then this would be, looks like a 4 and a 6. I don't have a 6 to help out just yet. That's going to be a 2, 4. Okay. And we're getting close. Getting really close here. I wonder if you guys see something. Almost got the whole block filled out. You got a 1, 3, and a 6 here. So that 1, that's a 3, 6. That's a 1, 3, 6. And the 6 is restricted there. Okay. And then the last block, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the 1, 2 in the column. That's a 3, 4. And yeah, I see something here. Maybe you guys see it. Let me look. And then what do you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that could all be a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what do I see? I see 3, 4 by value cells. This 3, 4 is in row 3 in block 1. This 3, 4 is in row 2 in block 2. So you look at the third block, third row, notice that only one of the digits is possible, 4. So this is a W-wing, delta variant I call it. What it means is these both can't be 3s. Because if these are both 3s, you'll see pretty quick, 3, 3, no place to put a 3 here in block 3. So you notice that pretty quick. No, one of those has to be a 4. You can eliminate a 4 from any cell that sees both. So this can't be a 4, and this can't be a 4. And so you can solve that for a 2. That's a pretty neat little trick. Pops up quite a bit in the competition puzzles. 3, 2 there. Got a 2 there. Notice the 4 is right there. And let's see what's the impact, right? Well, that's got to be a 4. Let's get rid of our colors. And what else can we do with this 9? I guess I could have solved this 9 a while back too, huh? Whenever I got that 9. You saw that? Good job. All right, what else is the impact? I felt like that was a really key solve here. 3, 4, 6 puts the 3s here. Did I overmark these 3s? I sure did. Sorry about that. Okay, what else can we do? 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, 4, 4, 6. I think the 1 only goes right there, right? In column 4. Yep, that's got to be a 1. That's got to be an 8. Get rid of those 8s. And now you're looking at, because of the 2, that's an 8, that's a 2, or that's a 4. All right, get rid of the 4 right there. Whoops. I think we're close. This 8. Row column block, 3 and 8 right there. 1 and 8 right there. 3 and 1 right here. 6, 3, 4, 1. 4, 6. 2 and a 3. All right, I felt like that went pretty smooth. What we got? David F. 8's limited, column 7, 9, rows 1 and 3. Nice. You can place a 1. Thank you, SG. Yep, you caught that. Caught the W-wing. Awesome job. Thanks for the comments, people. Thank you so much for the help. Okay, so that was puzzle 2. Pretty tough. You can see with just, W-wing, you can get through it. Okay, do some more shout-outs now, right? We're going to welcome some Smarty Party members. New members from last month, Ken, William Clun, Dirge Media, Gary, Siraj Agarwal, Deborah Leslie, Thomas Boyer, Cherie Shockey, Margot Grayson, Dana Garnier, and Ken Godin. Welcome to the Smarty Party. So they all joined up. They get monthly puzzle packs. If they're the Classic Smarties, they also get solutions videos, discounts on anything in the shop on the Buy Me a Coffee page. You're automatically enrolled in my newsletter and get emails from me where I talk about things coming up in the channel and also with Smart Hobbies in general. Great. And then for those who did the puzzle pack, in May it was the Everest pack. If you guys remember, that was the one the people at SudokuCon 2025 voted on. And they decided they wanted to go with the theming of the climbing of Mount Everest, which happened in May of 1953. So congratulations to all those who gave me the correct solution. It involved finding skyscrapers. Carol Emmerich, Jen Starr, Mike Mott, Aaron Wells, Gray Mike 50, Rick Adams, Ryan Wheeler, Johan Kraus, Brian Driver, and Paul Monet all solved the May pack. I got the June pack out. You're going to get, I'll tell you Sunday, I'll show you how to solve one of the puzzles from that pack. I'm pretty excited about it. It has to do with horse racing, Triple Crown horse racing. You know that the Kentucky Derby was last month, and you got the Preakness Belmont here, and just very excited. Good time of the year for that. And I already got some correct solutions for that, so awesome job. All right, let's move on to puzzle 3. So David Peters, if you're out there, thank you so much. David's been sending me some puzzles that he needed help on. This one was rated extreme. I think it was through a mobile app. It comes, just notice that first thing is that it has 17 digits. So that's the minimum number of given digits for a Classic Sudoku. Just because that's 17, many people think it has to be a very hard puzzle. It doesn't have to be. I've showed a couple on this channel that are actually quite approachable. Just using, if you just can find hidden pairs, you can do that. He wanted me to check for X-Wings. He said, check this puzzle for X-Wings. And I didn't see any X-Wings from the diagram he gave me. Then he's like, hey, can you show me how to solve it? And I'm like, well, I'll just put it on the live stream and show you live how to solve it. If you do get stuck on a puzzle, reach out to me. I can help you. Usually I can give you some hints if you send me a diagram. I can feature puzzles on the live stream like this, or make a puzzle video if it's a very interesting puzzle. But if you really want a customized experience, something I offer, not many people have taken me up on it, but you can. I have personalized solving videos. You send me the puzzle. It's through Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link for commission me to do a solving video. Send me the puzzle. Send me the diagram where you got stuck. I'll run through it. I'll explain every single solving, every cell. I'll give you all the tutorial links. From the diagram, I'll tell you, hey, where you went wrong or what you missed and where you could have gone from there. And I give you a link to all those tutorials. It's really good. It's very helpful, instructive. If you're a Smarty Party member, you get 50% off those commissions. So I advise, if you want that kind of experience, let me know. Otherwise, just you can send me. If you just need hints, you need some help, I'm always happy to help out. All right, so let's do this extreme Sudoku. I assume this is going to be harder than the one we just did. Okay, Jerry, your goal is to solve the June puzzle pack. Awesome. I think you'll do it. Great. And thanks, Cola Radio. I'm glad you liked the service. Awesome. All right. Let's do this. Can we do it the ones? Not much. Like I said, 17 digits, so it's going to take a little while to get going here. When I do what I see with 17-digit Sudokus is they have to do so many, repeat digits, and that's where you're going to get your first solve. So like these 9s, solve for a 9 right there. And then with this 9, you can solve for 9 here. And now you got 9s in block 5. But there's not much with the 1s except for this nice pointing pair. Cool. You see there's like 1, 2. This is pretty common. You get very limited amount of digits. But with these 8s, which is right next to the 2, you can solve that for an 8. And now you have a pointing pair of 2s in block 6 because of that 2. All right. But the 3s, all by its lonesome, can't do anything there. The 4s, you'll notice you get a pointing pair of 4s in block 1. And then now that's going to help us because of this 4 and the pointing pair of 4s. 4 can only go here in block 4. And then with this 4, you now have 4s in block 5. And just remember, this pointing pair of 4s restricts the 4s here in block 7. I don't see anything else with the 4s. How about the 5s? You end up with a pointing pair of 5s. This is kind of interesting in block 6. Cuts across. 4 places for a 5 there. Can't do anything there. Okay, 6s. 3 places for a 6 here. Can't do anything about that. 7s. The 7 cutting across. And then I'll quickly check 7, 9, 4 to see if another digit was with the 7 that wasn't in the block. You could have a hidden pair there. But right now you just have a pointing pair of 7s. But it's kind of cool because this now comes up here and creates another pointing pair of 7s. That we can probably use a little bit later on. Nothing else there. The 8s we did solve before. There's an 8. 8 and 8. So 3 places for an 8 here. Can't do anything about that. And that's it for the 8s. And then the 9s, we'd solved a couple of 9s. 3 places for a 9, just like with the 6, which is of interest. Can't solve for a 9 there, so we got a little bit better. There's a 9, there's a 9. And then with this 9, keep on going with the 9s. Did we get all the 9s? Almost. Displace that 9. There's a 9, displacing the 4. So we've got some solved cells here. And I can remember, because of the 6, I can immediately go, oh, yep, that's going to be a pointing pair of 6s. Okay, so we went through the digits 1 through 9. Kind of go back through now, look for some pairs, triples. And if we can't find anything there, we're going to be looking at single candidate strategies. It's extreme, so it could be a pretty hard way to solve. Do we have any heavy houses? Not really. Everything I see has only 4 givens in it at this point. So there are some the other thing you want to look for is are there intersections of unique. So like right here seems of interest because you have the single 2 and the single 3. Look at this cell along with the 1. So you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. So that can only be a 5 or 6. So it's a BVC, okay. Because the 2s and the 5s can't be in this cell, and you got a 4, 6, 8, 9, you know that's going to be limited. So it looks like a 1, 3, 7. That's not as interesting. What we got across here? You got, looks like 3, 5, 8, 9. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. 4, 6, 7 here. So that's got to be a 1, 2. 1, 4. So 2, 6, 7. 6 can't be there. That of interest? Not really. So I mean, I could sit here and kind of find bi-value cells. I'm not sure how fruitful that in itself is going to be. Usually the marks will bring up some hidden naked pair combinations that I'm just not seeing yet. Yeah, there's just not a lot being given in this puzzle right now. Okay, let's go with single candidate strategies. I'm going to assume that there's something harder going on here. Where can the 1s be? And maybe something will pop out to me. Whoops. 1, 1, 1. 1's there. I just hold down the control key as I'm finding all those. And now I'm looking for conjugate pairs. I'm looking for X-wings, 2-string skyscraper type single candidate strategies. I don't see anything here. There's not a lot of conjugate pairs. Well, obviously, because of the pointing pair, that can't be a 1. But even by fixing that, nothing much going on. All right. Well, how about the 2s? Let's see what you guys say. Oh, box 5. 6, 8. Hidden pair. Thanks. Well, that does something. Thanks, SG. Okay, I just used that hint from SG. He said there's a hidden pair in box 5. Which means you can solve that for a 5 now. Appreciate that tip. And so now, because of the 2 being there, this has to be your 2. Nice. And it's going to give you, looks like 1, 7. Oh, excuse me, not 7. 1, 3 there, and 6, 7 here. Well, that's helpful. And so now this 6, 7, to 6, 7 right there. And then when you end up with, looks like a 2, 4, and an 8. And that's, note, because it's a lock triple. This can't be the 8. And that can't be the 4, because now you got this 2, 4, 8 here. 6, 7, 9 there. Ends up with a 1, 3, and a 5. Well, with this 5, oh, it's all for the 5. And with that 1, well, that's got to be your 3. So we got the 1, 3 there. Okay, a lot more progress. Wow, just that one little hidden pair. And then with this 6, sure enough, 7, 6, block 4. I saw another note about checking that 6. Thank you very much. Okay, what do we have down here now? It looks like 1, 1, 2, 6, 7. And then this would be 4, 6, 7, 8. 6 and 8 means that's a 4, 7. I'll put the BVC there. Okay, impact. Got quite a few more solved cells here. What does that do to the 4s? 4s are restricted there. 3 4s there, 3 4s there. Okay, not going to mark that. What does it do for the 7s? Not a big deal there. 1, 3, 5, 7. I know it. And then what does this do for this cell? 1, 2, 3, and a 5. So the 2 and a 5 means that's a 1, 3. Okay. And then kind of what's the impact here? 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 6, 4 and a 1. Oh, 6, 7, and 4. Aha. Believe. Yep. That's got to be a 6 because this is the pointing pair of 6s. Nice. And you see how you have that 1, 3, 1, 3. This has got to be the 7. And that's going to be, looks like your 4. Which would make sense because now the 4s are restricted here. Okay, making a lot of progress. Displace that 4, solve this for a 4. That's got to be a 7 because of the 4 here. And now you're looking at 6, 7 there. And 4 and an 8 there. All right, with these 8s, that's got to be an 8. 6, 8 there. Nice. And it looks like with these 8s, you can solve for an 8 here. Which puts an 8 right there and gives you a nice 2, 4 naked pair. Okay, we're making a lot of progress here. All right, what's in here? 1, 2, and a 6. That's 1. 6s are there. And the 1s are there. Go across 2, 6, and a 7. So that's got to be a 2, 7. And looks like this is a 2, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to peek in the chat. You can put a 1, 3 in row 5. All right. So what we know is this has got to be a 1, 3, 5. We know this can't be the 5. There's a pointing pair. Okay. Nice. All right. Other things. Because of this 7 cutting across and this 7 coming down, solve for 7 there. Gives you 7s are claimed there. Yep. 2, 3, and a 5. Because this is 5. Those are the 5s. That means this is a 2, 3. And you probably see now you got a 1, 2, 3 triple. So I'm going to see that, and I know that this cell can't be 1, 2, or 3. It's got to be a 5. Nice. Another way of seeing it, you could have maybe seen with the 5 here that there's just no place to put a 5 except in that spot. This gives you a 1, 2, 3 here to finish up block 5. That can't be a 1. 2s are restricted there. Okay. Interesting. 2, 3, 5 here. Just kind of curious what we can find. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 5 here. What this tells me, because of this 1, 2, 3, 5, now we have another naked triple, right? And so then you know these have to be either solved or a hidden pair. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a 6 or 7. So that means that's a 6. Sorry about that. And that's a 7. That's a 7. That's a 4. Well, it's this 4. Then that has to be the 4. That's got to be the 2. So we're doing great. This has got to be a 1, 2 here. Means this can't be a 2. Got to be part of a 3, 5. All right, so I'll put the 3.5 there. That naked triple helped us out. What else? 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 5 there, I think. Am I over marking? 1, 2, 3, 5 here. A lot of 2, 3s, and 5s, looks like. Yeah, because what this tells me then is that the 6 and 7 can only go here. Well, with the 7, that's the only place the 7 can go in column 9. So that's a 7, that's a 6. So that's going to be your 2. That's going to be your 6 right there. So far, have not had to use anything extreme. One, 3. This 2 means that can't be a 2. That's got to be a 2. Okay. Made a lot of marks. And this is kind of where we're at. And so now with this limited amount of cells left and lots of 1s, 2s, and 3s and 5s, I mean, that's the only digits left. The first thing I would look for would be a bug plus 1 where like you have all bi-value cells and one of them has at least 3. I don't see that, so then I got to assume there's either, not assume, but I'm going to look for and expect to see probably an XY wing of some sort with the 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 3, and 5. And if not that, there could also be a remote pair. There could also be a single candidate strategy. So let me look here. Maybe a W wing of sorts. All right, these ones are there. I'll look at the chat. If you saw something great between column 4 and column 8, column 4 and column 8, an X, Y wing. Okay, let me. 1, 3. I see a lot of 1, 3s, see a lot of 1, 2s. I keep looking here. This, and this, but I mean that doesn't. You can't make an elimination there. One, 3. Huh. All right. How about we maybe go the single candidate route? Boxes 2 and 5, he says. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 3. Oh yeah, here we go. I think this is what SG is talking about right here. So there's your pivot. That's a 1, 3. Got a 1, 2 here, 2, 3 there. Pivot sees both of them, all 3 paired possibilities, the digits 1, 2, and 3. If this is a 1, that's a 2. This is 3, that's a 2. So you can eliminate a 2 from any cell that sees both of those. So, I mean, you would be eliminating there and there. So that's not, I mean, it is an XY wing, but it doesn't lead to any solves. Right? Because you'd have to be able to eliminate from there. Okay. So let's, yeah, so this, I mean, this is, let me see, I must not be looking at the right XY wing here. All right. Let's try this again. I think what I want to do is look at single candidates. So let's try the 1s first. Where are the 1s at? Okay, do we have some kind of cool little kite or something else I can use? No. No. All the skyscraper stuff's already been cleaned up, it looks like. with the ones. How about the twos? So I'm looking for a single candidate strategy in case y'all. Oh, no. Hold on a sec. Got a little too excited there. Yeah, nothing with the twos. Of interest. How about the threes? What is going on with those threes? I see a lot more. See some conjugate pairs. This is of interest to me. Conjugate pair there. Okay, so I mean, I got an empty rectangle. Let's see if I can do. So the empty rectangle, slice and dice. You come out this way, come out of this conjugate pair. This can't be a 3. And the reason it can't be a 3 is if you put a 3 here, then that would, I'll just show you. If you put a 3 there, that wouldn't be a 3. That'd be a 3. You had no place to put a 3 in block 2, right? So you know you can eliminate this as a 3. The way I saw it is empty rectangle. You come out here. This is the shape. You come out here, connect to this conjugate pair, eliminate whatever sees both. So now that's a 1, 2. Well, that's a 1, 2. So you can eliminate a 2 from the. You can eliminate 2s from here. Make a 3, 5. So that's better for us, right? Anything else with the 3s that I can do? No, not right now. But I know that's helpful. We create another couple more BVCs. Okay. All right, how about the 5s then? Nothing alone with just the 5s. All right. So what did we accomplish here? One, two. Oh, this is much better now, right? Yeah, so I'm another XY wing. It eliminated 2 from there. We just did that though. Like we just did that. I'm convinced there's an XY wing here that is helpful. Or yeah, the other option, and SG's marking it, is a possible W wing, where you're connecting, like these 1, 3s or 1, 2s. So let's see about trying to do a W wing. First, you want to have it's matching bi-value cells in 2 spots. I imagine it'd be the 1, 3s that would link up in a spot where you can make an elimination. So like if we could connect those 1, 3s, and we can. Okay, there's a W wing here. I'll show you. Because the 1s are conjugate pairs right there, right? So either this is a 3. If it's not a 3, that's a 1. That can't be 1. This would be a 1, and that would be a 3. If you guys see that, right? So conjugate pair, or bi-value cells connected by a conjugate pair. Basically, one of these cells has to be a 3. So you can eliminate 3s from these 2 cells. And what you'll see then is this has to be, stop. Oh, I see. I was putting a 2 there, and it gave me a conflict. That's got to be a 2. Nice. I think this is going to be the key here because we got so many cells filled out. So this 2 now, just see what it does. 1, 2 there. That's got to be your 1, 3 here. Yep. Get rid of that 1. All right. 3, 5, 3, 5 means that's the 2. That's the 1. That's the 3. That's the 2. That's the 1. Okay. And now what are we looking at here? 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. This can't be a 3, so that's got to be your 3. Hold on a second. Oh, 3 places for a 3 there. I'm sorry. I think I'm getting a little tired after solving all these puzzles. 3, 1 there. 5, 1 there. 3, 5, 3 there. And I still got to check comments and tell you how much we raised for AIM here. That's going to be your 5. All right. Yep, a little extreme there. Trying to find that last strategy. The W-wing is what seemed to work out for us. And a little bit of the empty rectangle. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So, what else we got in the chat? Randy Reese, yep, you called out the W-wing. Nice job there. Thank you all for enjoying. And David F., thanks for the comment about first time joining and excellent. Lots of good solving strategies. People have asked me to solve. This is a way for me to connect with you. And I've never done live streaming until like 2-3 months ago. So I plan to continue it, make it a monthly occurrence. Usually shoot for the first Friday of each month around this time frame. The last thing I want to talk about was AIM, how much we raised for AIM. And I'm going to have to check because I didn't have it written down. But AIM is Agape International Ministries or Missions, and they fight human trafficking. It's very popular as far as where I'm at. There's people locally that I've been connected to, and I just want to get you the right amount here before. And so I give a portion of the proceeds to AIM. Been doing that for over a year. And so last month we gave $196 to AIM. All right, I'll put this in the newsletter. Yearly total $1,165. So you think we're not doing much, but that's more than what I gave all of last year because we've been growing so much. A couple things coming up. I do have some sponsored videos that you'll see coming out for some of the products that I believe in, and books, people that I've connected with through SudokuCon and other ways, in YouTube. We got the newsletter coming out. I should have that out on Monday, so you can check out everything I got now and what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm working on a course. That's like my next big thing that I want to launch and release later on in the summer. I'm working through a self-paced course that you guys help support for me to do that and hopefully make this more of a sustainable type business for you. So thank you so much all for watching. Thank you for your support. I will post this, and I just got to make a few edits, but it should be, the replay will be out by Monday. You can always click on the live tab to check it out. And thanks again so much for joining the live stream. Appreciate it. Bye.